Hello Blockineers, we are at the Ellison Hotel and we're going to show you the fun things you can do in Oklahoma City. Our first stop is the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum.
Welcome to the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum.
Over here is a timeline of the day of the attack. The building that was bombed was the Alfred P. Murrah building. We're going to listen to the Water Resources Board hearing, and this happened at 9 a.m., which is 1 minute before the attack.
With regard to this proceeding, basically there are four elements that I have to receive information regarding.
Whoa! Damn.
Everybody go down here.
Wow. This is the remnant of the Alfred P. Murrah building. Most of the letters weren't even recovered. So the building that was bombed was a federal building, which means many government workers were there. This sign tells you about the minute of the bombing, which was 9:02 a.m., and the bomb killed 168 people and injured 700. The bomb not only affected the Murrah building, but it also damaged 25 other structures. And 312 buildings had shattered glass, which means the force must have been huge. Here's a graphic of the part of the building that was destroyed, so it was pretty much half of it. The explosion was so devastating that it created a crater. And this shows that the explosive device was in a truck. I thought it would be in the building, but it's actually in the truck. Right now we're on 6th Street between Harvey and Robinson. So we would be over here, and the Murrah building was there. That's the truck that had a bomb in it. At first they thought that this was just a gas explosion, but then they realized it was a terrorist attack, and then they thought it might have been an attack from a Middle Eastern, but then they realized it was domestic terrorism. The VIN number of the axle of the truck that held the bomb was used to lead investigators to Kansas and the Dreamland Motel where Timothy McVeigh, the bomber, was staying. When they captured the culprit, this was the shirt that he was wearing, and it means "thus always to tyrants," which was the same phrase yelled by John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln. This gallery honors the victims of the attack. This is Timothy McVeigh's car, and they pulled him over because of a missing license plate, and they found a concealed gun, so that's why they arrested him. Timothy McVeigh was executed in June 2001. His accomplice Nichols was spared, and he received 161 consecutive life sentences. The pool over there represents 5th Street, and where the trees and the chairs are is where the federal building was. Each chair represents a lost life, and they're in rows. So the first row is everyone who died on the first floor, second row is for the second floor, and so on. The gates over there say 901, and the one there is 903. So that's the last innocent minute and the first minute of healing, because the bombing was at 902. This is the surviving elm tree, and it now symbolizes that good triumphs over evil. We're now on ground zero, where the bomb exploded the building. And that is the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum.
This museum was very interesting. I learned quite a lot about the bombing here.
This museum is important to visit to learn about the domestic terrorism that happened. Now we are at the Myriad Botanical Gardens. It's so humid in here. Let's walk across the sky bridge. Look how high we are.
Let's smell these. That is a strong lemon smell. Oh, that one's the best.
Okay, what animal makes that sound?
Cricket.
Ah, you got it wrong. That was number 2. Here we can touch and look at 4 things. First, this is a velvety, woolly texture. Okay. This is the cactus. Brother, make music with it. Like the one time in Arizona when you were doing this with a real cactus and got a splinter.
See the flower.
Oh, so this is what humans see, and this is what bees see. This is the prickly pear cactus, and unlike the one back there, we cannot touch this one because it will spike us.
That's a cholla right there. A teddy bear cholla.
I think the scientists wanted to trick people into hugging it. Oh, Medusa's head!
This is Medusa's hair. I don't call it a head because there's no face. I'm gonna try smelling this corpse plant.
I'll smell this. This is the sweet floral scent of ylang
No,
ylang.
I'm smelling. Oh, it smells so much better.
That does smell good. These berries look like Nightlock from the Hunger Games. You can actually see one growing from the tree there.
Look, it's a mango, my favorite.
Did you know that mangoes are related to the poison ivy family? That's why they taste bad.
It is not related to that.
It is. It says.
Oh, okay. But it still tastes good. You should try it. He always
Seeing is believing.
he always chickens out of things, just like the corpse plant.
Lastly, we're going to check out the Tulip Mania, which is an art exhibit. And that is the Myriad Botanical Garden.
My favorite part was smelling all the different plants, even though the corpse plant didn't smell that good.
I liked the walkway that was way high up because you could look down on the entire garden and there were interactive exhibits up there. Now we're visiting the Oklahoma City Museum of Art.
First, I'm picking up a discovery pack, and then we're checking out Chili Then and Now.
This is one of the first artwork we see, seal pups. I thought it looked like birds. Brother thought it looked like
Oh, I was gonna say they remind me of eggplants.
eggplants. But it also looks like someone tried inflating a balloon and then kind of gave up in the middle. The huge, tall glass structure that goes all the way up, the building was constructed specifically for that.
It looks like Medusa's hair.
Here's some of his early artwork. He was inspired by the Native Americans and made baskets. In fact, the gallery is in chronological order of his career. Is that Medusa?
Oh, Medusa, yeah.
The cool thing about these ones is that he had to plan the animals out very carefully. Like the snakes over there, he could kind of bend it. However, if there's an imperfection in the snakes, that's fine. But these have to be so precise. This one's called macchia, which is an Italian term for spotted. I especially like the vases that have color contrast. Like the orange is the opposite of blue. That one has red and green. And the tip of the vase has an outline. Like this one has yellow on the edge. The line has porcupine spikes. I think the boat in this one might have been inspired by the boats in Venice. Chihuly also makes works on paper in addition to his glass. This is how he gets ideas for some of his glass works. Whoa, the white on the black. That's amazing. This is 3 layers of glass that combined make one flower. Look, his signature. They all look like elves. That is the Chihuly Then and Now exhibit.
My favorite art piece was the glass ceiling because there are so many colors.
And I like the macchia one with all those pots that had different colors all over and different outlines. and it had pretty much every color you could think of. The next gallery is Fighters for Freedom.
This is John Brown, Frederick Douglass, and Abraham Lincoln. He's missing his top hat.
The next gallery is Art and Activism. Picasso, the best artist ever.
Let's check out what's in the discovery pack. There's magnifying glasses. Inside there's a clipboard to draw. Is it? No, hold on. Here's a discovery card. There's a mirror. A book. Kaleidoscope. 1,000 calories. Let's sketch this popular Picasso piece. Over here I did like a 5-minute sketch and it turned out pretty good.
The next gallery is Kiarostami Beyond the Frame. There will be 20 life-size photographs. They were shot in Iran, Italy, France, and Morocco. This one looks very 3D, but it's 2D. I can't believe all these doors are real. Just look at it. This one looks like the entrance to some evil shack. I would like to be this artist and just go traveling around looking for cool doors to photograph. Why are there people sleeping? No, don't step on them, that's rude. This section is cool because it's visitors looking at artwork in the Louvre in Paris. So like in this one, the woman by Da Vinci is looking at the guest. Now I'm gonna take a picture of brother taking a picture of the lady taking a picture of the painting. And that is the Oklahoma City Museum of Art.
My favorite art piece was, of course, the Chihuly because it looked super cool that you can see his progress many years back and then right now.
In addition to the Chihuly, which obviously was the coolest part, I also enjoyed seeing the pictures of people taking pictures of the paintings at the Louvre. That's a concept that I've never seen at art museums before. Our next stop is the Henry Overholser Mansion. This house was built in 1903 for $38,000, which is about $2 million in today's money. Everything in this house is original, and this was probably her wedding china, which the pattern is also painted on the ceiling. This is probably Mrs. Overholser's wedding china, and the same pattern is painted on the ceiling. These are the dinner chimes, so they can signal for guests to come over. That's much more polite than shouting, "Dinner!"
Right now we're in the butler's pantry. So over here is the food warmer, and what they would do to make the food warm, they would put the stove out in the sun right there, get it all warmed up, put it in there, add some water, and then close the lid, and then bam, you get warm food.
Here is an old-fashioned stove, which looks really ornate. Later on, the family updated some things to make them more modern, like this convection oven and the sink area. And this is a refrigerator from 1931.
This is the library. Over there you can see all the books.
This is the music room. That music box was purchased for $70. Don't you wish you could travel back in time and just pay for everything? That's so cheap. This is the withdrawing room, which I believe is another word for living room. And you can see that the furnitures here were super small because people back in the day were smaller. Here is this is Henry. This is Mrs. Overholser, and that's their only child.
And look at how short they are. I'm taller than this little girl.
Now we're going upstairs. We're not quite on the upper floor yet, but there's this resting area in case people got tired while climbing the stairs and wanted to sit down before finishing their stair climb. All right, now let's finish our stair climb. In every room, there's a plaque that tells you information. So this one says that in 1904, when you were midway up the staircase, there would be musicians playing. So I guess that's what it's for.
This bedroom was used for guests. This bed used to be Mrs. Overholser's bed before she married Henry. This was Mr. Overholser's room for 14 years.
This is the master bedroom.
And look at how small the beds are. That's like my size.
No, but the thing is that it's not one big bed. It's two twin-sized beds.
And I'm guessing this is Mrs. Overholser's sewing room.
Look, it's Cow Moo's friend.
Creepy dog.
When this house was built in 1903, it already had electricity and plumbing, which was advanced for its time. Oh, is this the sunroom?
This is the sunroom.
And that is the Henry Overholser Mansion.
My favorite part is seeing how small all the things were back at the place. I also like the grand staircases up.
I like how pretty much everything in the mansion was original because some of these historical homes that we go to have so many replicas that's not really that original. But this one, it has everything that the family living here would have had.
On to our next stop.
Our next stop is the First Americans Museum. A family discovery center is coming soon, which is when you step into a giant pop-up book. And this is one page of the pop-up book. In this cool theater, it shows many Native American origin stories. Opening of the First Americans Museum 2021. So before the Europeans came, it says there were 18 million people. Do you know why 95% died by 1800?
Because of the war and the diseases?
Yeah, mostly the diseases.
Oh.
The diseases killed so many
So
people.
smart.
Whoa. Oh, these are all of the tribes, right? Oh, look. See how this one is spelled with an exponent N?
Time to get barbecue.
I looked up where Oklahoma got its name from. Oklahoma is a Choctaw Indian word that means red people. So people is Okla and red is Hama. This map shows the boundaries of each Native American tribe. Fry Bread and Spam by Dr. Sue. By Dr. Sue. Not Seuss, but Sue. This section is on misrepresentation, which is negative stereotypes and the use of their images. Some of the stereotypes are cigar store Indian, drunk Indian, savage, etc.
That's chunky. There.
Roll, roll, roll. Let's go. Oh, throw. Run, 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 run. What am I supposed to do? Okay, throw. Run, 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 run. The computer is too fast. No, I'm drooling. And that is the First Americans Museum.
My favorite part of this museum is Chunky. Because it was very funny.
This is a great place to learn about the local Native Americans in Oklahoma. This game was fun until I lost twice in a row, when I won all the races. Just because apparently I didn't hit my stick with the stone or something, but like I beat the computer in the running, and then it gave me 0 points and the computer got 4.
I love this game.
Now we're gonna walk along the canal at Bricktown. The canal here kind of reminds me of the one in San Antonio. There's even a boat going along. If we had more time, we would probably ride it. We're back at the Ellison Hotel. We got a slice of pie from the Pie Junkie, and this mocha is from the Milo restaurant, which is in the hotel. So we thought that the mocha would pair well with the pie. Chocolatey. This hotel lobby is really nice to just sit and relax. Brother's also eating his pie here. Before we start our adventure, we're gonna have breakfast at the Milo in the hotel, which is named after a regional ancestral grain that's used as a sweetener. I don't usually get coffee, especially at hotels, but this mocha is really nice since I can taste both the coffee and the chocolate. It's a great way to start the day.
Today they had 2 types of croissants, regular and chocolate. The croissant is very crunchy and you can definitely taste the chocolate.
We got 3 breakfast meals that we're gonna share. The first one is the breakfast sandwich, which has a croissant bun, cheese, local eggs, and sausage. These are the breakfast tacos, which have eggs, cheese, and a choice of meat. We got carne asada, which is not officially listed on the menu, but you can ask for it, and potato. And lastly, the biscuit and sausage gravy, also with a side of potato. How is it? First, I'm having the breakfast sandwich, and I was excited for this because of the croissant bun.
The steak has a very smoky taste, and the eggs, I like how it isn't like other hotels' eggs. I don't like those. These are actually good eggs.
This croissant sandwich is amazing, mainly because of the texture of the bun. It's so flaky. I love croissants. And also they make their sausage in-house. You can see the pepper inside the sausage. It's really flavorful. Oh, they make the croissants here too. So this is a very original sandwich. Don't you like the texture of the croissants?
Yeah, it's very, very crunchy.
Now I'm gonna try the biscuits and gravy. That's really good gravy. In the gravy, there's pork sausage, by the way. This is one of the best gravies I've ever had. This is a legit breakfast. Now we are at the Oklahoma State Capitol. This is the Great Seal of the state of Oklahoma. The 5 points on the star represent the 5 civilized tribes, and the 45 stars all around represent the 45 states that existed before Oklahoma became a state, since Oklahoma was the 46th state. This is a replica of the statue on the top of the Capitol dome, and it shows a Native American guardian. This is a sculpture of Kate Bernard, the first woman in Oklahoma to hold a statewide office. This is the Hall of Heroes. Here are Native Americans in the Army during World War I, and they would communicate using their native language so the enemies wouldn't understand. And here's the Hall of Governors. Each one has a statue for its own self. On the top are 4 paintings of Oklahoma's history. That one is when the Spanish arrived. That one is the Trail of Tears. That one is the land run, when people rushed to Oklahoma for free land. And I'm not sure what that one is, but it looks like there's a Union Army there. We're entering the House of Representatives, which is in session. And that is the Oklahoma State Capitol.
My favorite part was looking at all the images and seeing what they were all about.
I like the artwork and the colors in this capitol. This is definitely one of the most colorful state capitals I've seen, especially the dome area. The tour guide said this capitol didn't have a dome until 2001 or 2002, so it's pretty recent. Now we are at the Oklahoma City Zoo.
So we have a zoo kit. Every time we see one of these white boxes, we put it in.
Hi, this is Amanda Taylor from Oklahoma's own News 9. Did you know flamingos aren't naturally pink? The birds are born gray and only begin turning pink after about a year due to their diet of pink shrimp-like krill.
The key works like an audio tour, so whenever we see a white box, we can insert the key through and it'll tell us some cool facts. Is there one on my shoulder? No, no, that looks funny. Oh my gosh. The birds here seem to be they seem to be more aggressive than the ones at the aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach. Ah! What's he doing? Here, look, they can both have it. This is the friendliest I've ever seen them. They're taking turns. This is the peak of civilization. Oh my gosh, they're actually taking turns.
So when I was in there, there were two parakeets fighting for my nectar, and then they kept clawing on me and biting me when they were fighting.
The lorikeets didn't bite me. There was a sign saying they're friendly animals, so it was perfectly safe. I thought these were statues of tortoises, but then I realized they're real.
Wait, those are real? The shell?
They're
looks
real.
so
See, the
fake.
sign says, please do not touch the tortoises. Now that one over there is a statue. It's not gonna come alive, don't worry. Now we're gonna ride the zoo carousel, and the unique thing about this is that they're all endangered species. I chose this one because it looks funny since he's eating a banana. Now we're gonna do gorilla trek. Wow, it's turning. Right now we're flying over Rwanda. There were hikers walking this direction, so I could turn my head and see them walk. Whoa, there's a gorilla right in front of me. It's like I could reach towards it. Oh, the gorilla's nose is in my face right now. It's so up close. Oh, whoa. And that was gorilla trek.
I like gorilla trek because you can see the gorillas up close, and it's really cool.
And I like how this wasn't just VR, but also the chairs were moving up and down, side to side, so it felt like you were actually there in the Rwandan forest. Now we're checking out Oklahoma Trails, which has the animals native to this state. Now we're entering the mixed grassed prairie.
We're about to go to a part of the tour that is exclusive only to tram riders.
We're entering the back of the zoo. This is the behind the scenes part of the tram. We're by the animal hospital right now. This is the quarantine section. And that is the Oklahoma City Zoo.
My favorite part was the lorikeets because they would go on you, peck you, bite you, claw you, but it was still very fun because you have the little cup and they would just fight each other for it.
That was also my favorite part, but I think the VR gorilla experience was also cool. And if you come here, do buy a tram ticket because it will let you see the behind the scenes part of the zoo, including the animal hospital, so it's pretty neat. Our next stop is Science Museum, Oklahoma. First, we're gonna check out Curiosity. We're trying to make an infinite loop. Go. It needs to go around 3 times. Oh my gosh. 1, 2. All right, let's go. Wait, he might actually make it. Look at the clouds. You can't fall in the clouds. Otherwise, wait, I made it. Okay, here the water drips up, but I don't know how. No, there's no way. How is that possible? And that was Curiosity. That took super long, and it's only one section of the museum.
My favorite part was the tightrope because you can see how hard it is actually going on that. Even though in the circus, they make it look super easy.
My favorite part was also the tightrope. It was my first time trying a tightrope, and I also liked the water defying gravity. This place is huge. There's 2 whole stories. Wait, you enter from... Did you just try to crash it? Okay, this is the mirror maze. We're riding a Segway and Brother's gonna go first. Oh my gosh, Brother went off course. Come on, man. On this track, you probably only go like 4 miles per hour or 3, but the max speed on this Segway is 10 miles per hour. And the guy said that they have another Segway at this museum that's in a storage that can go 20 miles per hour, and it has a speedometer on it. I think owning a Segway would be pretty cool. And that is Science Museum, Oklahoma.
My favorite part was Curiosity, since it had all those different activities that are hands-on and also feet-on.
My favorite part was riding the Segway because that was the most unique thing, and I've never seen that at any other science museum before. It's a great opportunity.
Also,
we picked up some stuff from the gift shop. Okay, this is a kinetic craze.
We also got Napoleon ice cream sandwich, and this is astronaut food. This is all freeze-dried.
There's this cool science museum cup and a space Lego set.
I want that.
All right. Here's the ice cream sandwich. So it has chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. I'll take a bite of the chocolate. Yeah. Wait, it actually tastes like an ice cream sandwich. Oh yeah, in the ice cream ingredients, the first ingredient is milk. So it does have the ingredients of actual ice cream, but it's freeze-dried.
Make sure you pick this up at the gift shop before you leave.
Now we are at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. We only have an hour, so the lady showed us the most important things to see, such as the Western town. Brother's gonna play this cowboy game, and he can earn a prize in the gift shop when he's done. This section is called Playing Cowboy, and there's many games and toys related to the Wild West. This exhibit has a lot of board games with the Western theme, but I don't think we've played any of them. These are really neat guitars. I especially like that one with the cactus and the cowboy on a horse. I like it when they put these special designs on musical instruments to make them look less boring. This section showcases toy guns. Since we're in a cowboy section, I'm gonna draw me with a cowboy hat, whipping cow moo. Poor cow moo. Someone actually drew cow moo before me.
But they said it's a
Oh my gosh, look at the similarity. It has that thing, and then it has the horn coming up, and then, wait a minute. That looks exactly like cow moo. This gallery is called Art of the Northwest Coast. So I do think this is around the Washington and Vancouver area, because when we were there, we saw many of these totem poles. This is pretty good artwork and it looks scary. There's 2 bears, but it looks like one got defeated.
Look, camels are crossing the river.
We're in the old western town. It actually looks so real, like we're outside right now and it's nighttime.
It is nighttime.
Because those little white things on the ceiling look like stars, and then there's street lights here. This is amazing. U.S. Marshal, let's go in there, the police office. Ooh, can I go in jail? I sure can. Help! Is the bank.
Good morning, ma'am. I've come to see about
Every room you go in triggers an audio recording.
No, ma'am. I used Scotland Mercantile Bank till they closed up.
And that is the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum.
My favorite part was exploring the Wild West town because it really felt like you were outdoors.
That was my favorite part too, and I liked seeing all of the artwork in the earlier exhibit. There's so much of the museum that we didn't explore. There's outside Native American exhibits that are temporarily closed due to the rain, but usually they're open. And there's a whole east wing that we didn't have time to see. So you can spend many hours in this museum. Our next stop is Oklahoma History Center. We're going to the Oklahomans and Space Gallery. There are more astronauts from Oklahoma than any other state. This is the Skylab 4 Apollo command module, and it was in space for 84 days. There's a display of astronaut food here, like their hot dogs, their graham crackers.
Their hot dogs don't look appetizing.
This is the flag of Oklahoma. It has a shield that belonged to a guy named Black Dog that we can see in the museum, and there's also a pipe and an olive branch. This is an original certificate that Lewis and Clark brought on their journey, and it was for peace between them and the Native Americans. This is the steamboat Heroine. The Heroine had been sailing for years, and on this one trip it was carrying barrels with preserved pork. As it was 2 miles from its destination, it sunk here at the number 7. And then when they found it centuries later, then the smell of the pork was very, very bad. Here's the model of the Heroine steamboat. This is how they figured out that the boat really was the Heroine. For example, the hull was exactly 136 feet in length. This is what it was like to be a passenger on the Heroine. Ooh, you would get to eat well. This is a cannon from the Civil War, and at that time Oklahoma was a territory, so people there were on both sides. This is a miniature version of the Golden Driller in Tulsa, and even this is pretty big. This is the Noble Gallery, and it's about the settlement of Oklahoma, either urban or rural. And that is the Oklahoma History Center.
My favorite part was the Noble Gallery because there were a lot of hands-on exhibits.
My favorite was the Heroine Steamboat Gallery because that was a nice piece of local history, and we got to learn about a steamboat that sank on the Mississippi River. We spent around the museum in 45 minutes, but you should probably spend over an hour here because there are 5 galleries. Our final stop is Oklahoma Contemporary.
And it's super windy!
The first exhibit is figurative speech, which presents artwork in images, words, sounds, and symbols. This photo is untitled, but look at the photographer's name, Jerome. Now we're gonna check out the art of food. There's a person hidden in this one.
This one looks like a Pac-Man, and that one looks like it's gonna eat you. This is so sad. It says fresh pigs. It's a cabbie. It says hamburger. Don't you like hamburgers? Look, Look, the shark is eating a human foot in front of these humans.
That's a tea bag. Look, that's a tea bag. This is the Hungry for More gallery. The question is, what are some ways you can help ensure Oklahomans have enough food to eat? And that is Oklahoma Contemporary.
My favorite exhibit was, of course, the food one because they were meant to picture the food and I like eating food.
I liked everything that had cows, and there were many cow arts here. This is a great place to come in Oklahoma City because it's completely free and it's as good as many art museums. Our first stop is the American Banjo Museum.
Welcome to the American Banjo Museum! Yay!
This was an early banjo from 1845, and it was made by William Boucher. There's no fret marks on this banjo, so it's played more similar to a violin. And this is just a drum, so they pieced together the long wood thing with the drum.
So this is 1889, 1890, just a few years after these. Look at how detailed they are. They all have frets, they have started having designs, and they started being used with classical music.
The early banjos don't have a back, it was more like a drum. But then they added the resonator, which you can see the back there, and then on the front, there's holes that can amplify the sound. This is one of my favorite banjos because you can see little pictures of Venice, the canals, the buildings.
Look, that banjo has a dragon at the back.
These are the bluegrass banjos, which happen after the jazz ones. And what's interesting is that they kind of got a more simpler design. Like the jazz ones were all gold and extravagant, but these look a lot simpler. This is the only Gibson bass banjo, and it was made once because they played it for a few events. Okay, it wasn't that big of a hit, so the museum has it. This banjo was made about the Beatles, so it says Yellow Submarine on it. There's a submarine on top, on the head. And on the back is a depiction of the 4 Beatles. This gallery features women banjo players. Taylor Swift is a banjo player, apparently. One time when Steve Martin was playing a show in Oklahoma City, he came by the museum, was so impressed that he donated this banjo to the museum. He was given this banjo when he won the Mark Twain Prize. Pretty neat.
This is what the banjo looks like when it's taken all apart.
He smashed it on the ground and broke it, and then it came all apart. Now we're gonna learn to play the banjo.
So on your thumb, put that there.
All right.
So it's like that. So this is the
that's much more comfortable. Is that the Foggy Mountain? Wait, no.
Yeah, it's Foggy Mountain Breakdown.
Yeah.
Index on the second to last string, in my middle, on the top string there, the bottom one. That's a great way to start.
Like that?
That's cool. The Kermit song is this. The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
And that is the American Banjo Museum.
My favorite part was, of course, seeing all the different banjos. My favorite banjo, though, was the Steve Martin one.
I love seeing the banjos, and I didn't know that there were different variations of it. There's 4-string, 5-string, 6-string, but I think the most normal one to play would be 5 strings. And my favorite part is here, playing the banjo for the first time, even though I suck at it. But I want to play it again one day, maybe learn it. Thank you, Mr. Lucas, for the tour. Now we are at the Museum of Osteology. They have different sections in this museum. This one's on Oklahoma wildlife.
Over here's scavenger hunts for different age levels.
We're trying to find the New World monkey that's hanging by its tail.
Oh yeah, see?
Brother found the monkey hanging by its tail. It's a spider monkey. This is the dog section. Look how cute the Chihuahua is, even when it's just the skeleton. It's the size of cow moo almost. I found some skeletons that even though the animals are dead, you can see their facial expressions, like this one over here. And also my favorite, the Sumatran orangutan. Look how it's hunched, and then it has a really, the mouth extends forward so much. It looks like an old man. That is a human skull, Homo sapiens. That's us, from 30,000 years ago. And then our ancestors, one of them was the Homo erectus from 300,000 years ago.
This is a hippo. Up there doesn't look that well. It looks pretty dirty.
This one, because the horn area is a different color, it looks like he's wearing a hat.
I found the heaviest mammal. It's an elephant weighing at 16,500 pounds.
From the gift shop, you can pick up these owl pellet dissection kits. So what it is owl poop, and inside there are bones of the owl, which you can use this chart to identify which part it came from. And these are the tweezers that you would use to pick out the bones. While brother's doing the scavenger hunt, I'll do this. Whoa, it's small. These are not made for my hands. All right, I'm gonna open up the owl poop. And by the way, the poop has been sanitized, so it's safe. Whoa. Whoa, look at that. I'll try to be gentle so I don't break the bones. Actually, owl pellets is not owl poop. It's regurgitated parts of prey that cannot be digested by the owl. Good thing I read that. Here, found a little something. Okay, we need to identify this. I'm not completely sure, but it looks like a vertebrae to me. I found another. This is maybe the jaw. That's my best guess. If you look closely, there's actually so many bones. This is a really unique activity. Usually at these kinds of museums, they'll have archaeology kits that are just those magic Play-Doh things, and then there's just fake bones inside, but this is actually really, it seems really real. It's real owl throw up.
Pick a prize out of there.
I'll take this.
All right.
And that is the Museum of Osteology.
My favorite part was the scavenger hunt because it basically gave you a tour of the whole museum while also getting the prize.
I enjoyed the owl pellet dissection because I never thought I'd touch owl regurgitation. It was sanitary since they sterilized the pellet, and I got some really cool rodent bones to take home. This made me feel like a true osteologist. And now our friends at Family Travel Go will show you Riversport OKC.
Hey,
Hale, where are we?
we're at Riversport.
Cash and Kale will be your guides.
Let's go rock climbing. There's so many types of rock climbing. My favorite one was the one with the punching bag.
Oh!
The rock climbing was a ton of fun. I really loved the simulated ice climbing wall.
Our youngest son had a blast at the youth zone. They had many activities geared for his age group.
Next, we headed over to the whitewater rafting area. It was our favorite, but Kale was not big enough to do it yet. Our first lap was adventurous but smooth.
Awesome! Let's do a paddle high five, everybody. Paddles in the sky. Boom!
I don't think that's how it's done, Cash.
Next, we were harnessed in and able to walk on multiple levels of the Sky Trail. Once we reached the top, we went down the slides. 2 of them were over 72 feet tall.
Then we went out on the river where they offer paddleboarding and kayaking. After kayaking, our youngest son Kale got brave and decided to attempt some of the harder climbs.
Thank you, Family Travel Go. You can check out their channel at the link in the description.
That was Riversport, and we give it 1,000 thumbs up.
Now we're checking in at the Ellison Hotel.
Ellison.
Here we go. I'm going to give you a tour of our room. Starting here, we have a coffee maker, safe in a drawer, a mini fridge. Here are extra pillows, robes. Up here is a handheld steamer.
Over here's a flat screen TV.
Okay, it's a guest services book. Look, currency. The local currency uses US dollars. They even explain what a do not disturb sign is, in case you don't know. And we flew into that airport, Will Rogers. This is neat. Over here we have 2 queen-size beds.
Whee!
Okay, look, so see how these are all cards? These are underneath the glass, and these are above it. There's postcards for us. Here is a dining guide. Oh, okay, so you answer these questions about what district OKC are you, and based on that, it'll suggest dining, shopping, and here's a map. The decor is neat too in this room. The bed frame looks like a suitcase because you're traveling. And this is a little living room area. The artwork, this one's nice. It's the eye test chart. It says, it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world, and you only live once. Let's go in the bathroom. Ah!
And I'm gonna give you the tour of the bathroom. Over here is a sink with bar soap, a toilet,
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah. Over here is a shower covered in gold, soap, conditioner, and a shampoo. And look at all these towels down here.
We're gonna show you the other parts of the hotel. There's a rooftop pool on the 4th floor, and it's closed right now, but its season will open on April 7th. So by the time you watch this, it'll probably be open. We're in the lobby area and I spotted this massive bookshelf. Not only does it have a million books, but it makes a picture of a woman's face and she's reading a book. Now we are at the Oklahoma Firefighters Museum. This is a replica of an old firehouse. So if there was a fire, then someone at any location would go to this box, they'd insert a key and then pull the thing that was inside. And at the fire station, the firefighters would hear rings according to the number that was on here. So there would be 2 rings and then 1 for 21.
It works.
Whoa! Oh, okay.
That's 2, and then there would be a pause, and then 1. This particular hand pumper's from 1870.
Wait, the water would be in there?
The water would go in here. Now, depending on where you were at and what the circumstances were, they could fill this with buckets. Or they could take this, flip it over and drop it in water, and it would actually suck the water up
Oh, okay.
and pump it. These would fold out. They folded in because of narrow roads. That way they could get them out. Well, they would take these out. Now you
could push it?
you could have 6 to 12 men pump it. And generally, if they had the manpower, there'd be a guy on your side and a guy on my side, and we would pump it because it's very hard.
This is a horse-drawn steam pump. So when they would fight a fire, they would hook the hose to a water source. And back then, cities were near water sources, so that was easy. And then it could pump 750 gallons a minute. The Dalmatian dogs actually, they weren't used to sniff out humans and fires. They were just used to keep the horses company. I didn't know that. This was the fire chief's buggy, and it was white to symbolize that it was the fire chief. So not everything in the fire service was red. And that is the Oklahoma State Firefighters Museum.
My favorite part was when our guide made the ringing sound.
I liked learning about how firefighting worked back in the day, and I think this is the first firefighting museum that we've been to, so I pretty much didn't know anything. It's cool to learn about. Our next stop is the Oklahoma Railway Museum. Whoa, look at these seats. Whoa. Three, 2, 1, catch. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh no! And that is the Oklahoma Railway Museum.
My favorite part was being able to go up to the train engine because I have never done that before, and it's very cool.
This museum is completely free and there is an inside part, but we only explore the outside. Now we are at the 45th Infantry Division Museum. Here you can flip this giant book to see many pictures of the 45th Infantry fighting World War II. The 45th Infantry was from Oklahoma and it fought more battles than any other division. And that is the 45th Infantry Division Museum. We breezed through in 5 minutes, but really you're supposed to spend way more time here. The museum is completely free, and if you talk to the folks there, one of the guys fought in the military that we talked to. He was pretty cool. Outside the museum, you can see many military vehicles, such as tanks and airplanes and cannons.
Stay tuned for more videos.